Hi everyone, how are you? Hope you are well. This is 11 Money Show. So I'm going to talk to you today about Bitcoin. What is going on with Bitcoin? So Bitcoin has gone from a value of $1 to 60,000 in a period of a decade. Then it dropped down to 19,000. So that's $1 to 19,000. So say for example, you knew about Bitcoin and you put your money in it when the value was $1. And say you only put $100 in. So take 100, hold it for 10 years, multiply that by 19,000. That's how much you would have had if you put $100 in Bitcoin when it was worth $1 and you held it for a decade. So that is the power of putting your money into things that nobody believes in, things that are speculative. Amazon was speculative at one point in time. So, did you know that there are actual Bitcoin conferences that people go to? Like some people are very serious about this whole crypto world, whereas on the other hand, the media is discouraging people from getting into Bitcoin. Also, there are people who are actually losing their money by being in Bitcoin. So, this whole crypto thing is very speculative. This is only something that you put your money in, the money in that you are willing to lose. I do 1%. There are other people doing 30%. So, some people are more bearish on it, other people are more bullish on it. And then in reality, people have lost money by being in the Bitcoin. So, I just want to give you another calculation. So, say if you're a one percenter like me, um, you really don't have money to be thrown away on speculative things. So, say for example, you only have $1,000 in Bitcoin, just for an example. Hold it for a decade. And if it were to jump the same way it did the last 10 years, hold this $1,000 for a decade. Multiply that by 19,000. This is how much you would have with $1,000 in Bitcoin, holding it for a decade, considering it had the same jump that it had a decade ago. Keep in mind, this is speculative, nothing is guaranteed, but I think it's better to take the risk than not to take a risk. I think it's better to have a little bit of money in there than to have nothing in there. So keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. All right, as far as the latest news that is going on with Bitcoin, the hackers are up. The amount of crypto stolen by hackers is increased, it's on the rise. So the hackers, they're behind your little computers right now, trying to figure out how they can extort money out of your computer. So there are $3 billion of investor funds that have been exploited since January. That's $3 billion of investor funds. So in the year 2022, it will be likely that it will surpass the year 2021 as the biggest year for crypto hacks on records. So the hackers are at work and they are working to get your crypto. So far, they've got $3 billion worth. B with a B, billion, 3 billion. So there's this group called the NCET. It was formed a year ago, the NCET, and this is actual federal agency investigators. They specialize in crypto criminality. It's called the NCET. So they had time to organize this group um, over in the federal agency. Like, in spite of all of this crime that is going on, we have the crime of Havana syndrome that nobody knows about. Then we have all of these other crimes. They have a whole lot of black men locked up in prison and in jail. Some deserve to be there, but most don't. They are targeted. There are different laws between blacks and whites. So you have a whole bunch of black men locked up in prison and jail. And then you have these white men criminals. They are free. They're free. So, for example, there's this crime called Havana syndrome, right? And some of the components of Havana syndrome are it involves stalkers, where you are stalked on a consistent basis every day. You're under surveillance 24 hours a day. And there are also weapons involving electromagnetic frequencies. So people do not know about these weapons. They are called directed energy weapons. If you're interested, you can go to YouTube and search the word wicked lasers. That will give you a little description of what's going on as far as electronic torture. Google the word electronic torture. Maybe educate yourself on what that crime is. So I brought that up to say that people, they take this as a form of employment. Like, say for you, for example, your form of employment is that you're an attorney and you go to work every day to be an attorney. Well, there are other people out here, they're going to take the employment of being a stalker. So the only thing is that this is hidden and people don't know about it. This is taking a job. You take the job of an attorney, you go to work every day. This other person takes a job as a stalker. They go to work every day and they come in all different colors. There are white men doing it and they're not in jail. They're supposed to be in jail. There are white women doing it. There are Asian women doing it. You have Africans doing it, blacks doing it. Um, so I just brought that up to say that they had enough time to form this group to investigate the crypto hackers. The group is called NCET. So they have time to do that, but they don't have time to prosecute these criminals that are involved in Havana syndrome or prosecute white criminals. Do you see what I'm saying? All right. So there's this group called the NCET. They are federal agency investigators. They specialize in crypto and they prosecute cases involving digital assets. NCET. Remember that. It was formed a year ago. So, what is the takeaway message from what is going on with all of these hackers, the rise in hackers? Well, the takeaway is that if you are in crypto, then figure out a way to learn how to transfer that money off of the platforms. You have the different platforms. You have the Coinbase, you have the crypto.com. There are other platforms, Cash App. Figure out ways to transfer the money off of the platforms onto what is called the cold wallet, where you'll actually have a key in your hand. And this key blocks the hackers from taking your money. So when you get the time to do that, just research the cold wallet, buy the cold wallet, figure out how to transfer from the platform to the cold wallet. When you get the time, I know we're all busy. And then again, I do the 1%. So my risk is lower. I only put in what I am willing to lose, and other people are more bullish on it. But that's just an example of the power of Bitcoin, of getting into something that's speculative, getting into something that no one believes in. This stuff will actually turn you into not only millionaires, but billionaires. And there are people who have already done it. They are called Bitcoin billionaires. Just go onto YouTube and type the words Bitcoin billionaires, and you'll see them. So they're wealthy, and they're not going to tell you nothing. All right. So this is the Love and Money Show. If you like this show, please hit the like button. It helps the channel. Thank you for watching and have a great rest of your nights.